Hi, I'm Jim Tedesco from the Ironman store, and I'm with Kurt Peterson here, and we're going to talk a little bit about road bikes, and I'm also with John Lieno, and we're going to talk a little bit about triathlon bikes.
How you doing?
And Ironman is the parent company of Ironman 360, and everything you see here you get online. Kurt, let me ask you a couple of questions. This is a road bike.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me the benefits of having a road bike and what that's used for.
Benefits is kind of an interesting way to approach it, but it's what your use is going to be if you're going to be doing triathlon and also road racing or traveling, riding with others. Road bike is well suited for that because you have all your shifting up front, close by with brakes.
Right.
You're in a position that allows you to accelerate, slow down, speed up, work fairly dynamically with the group.
Right, so you got a lot more flexibility and a lot more control, if you will, with
That's
being able to top on the hoods here. So tell me a little bit about the setup here. I mean, this is a high-end bike, right? This is a Colorado from
a very nice bike, high-end bike. It's a full carbon frame bicycle. Many components that are on the bike are also carbon, like the seat post, the fork. The componentry that's on here is Shimano, which is this is a higher-end setup in componentry. Higher-end componentry means that it shifts easier, more dynamically, that you can change it out if there's serviceability of the componentry, and also the weight. As you go up in grades of components, it's usually a weight factor as well as fine precision in how it was built.
And this looks like these are upgraded wheels on this bike,
Yeah.
right?
These are aerodynamic wheels.
Right.
They are clincher wheels, which means that there's an inner tube inside here. There's also aluminum braking surface to stop. The bearings in a higher end set of wheels are usually a little bit better than in the factory type of wheel, but it all comes down to the use that you're going to have.
Now, would you use this in a triathlon?
You certainly can.
You
As
can.
matter of fact, if you watch the Olympic videos, you'll notice that a lot of the Olympic athletes are on road bikes.
Right.
Because that is a very fast, dynamic race for them, and they also do some drafting in that type of race.
So in a true triathlon, though, we would see the Ironman World Championships out of Kona, Hawaii. And if you look at any of the World Championship races, the 70.3s, you won't really see a road bike in those races. You'll see just a triathlon bike, right?
You may see some from the more amateur side, but then as you move up in the category and you're looking at a different type of racing, then you'd see a triathlon bike like John has.
Okay, so let's talk about the triathlon bike. So John, you actually own this bike, right?
Not this particular bike, but this frame.
This frame,
Absolutely.
okay. So now that looks a lot different than this bike. It doesn't have the drop handlebars here. It looks like it has more of an aero type of setup. So tell me about this bike.
Well, the biggest thing you notice about this bike is the frame geometry. The frame geometry is going to get you a lot more forward on this bike.
So forward in terms of position on the bike.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
Why is that important?
Well, what it's going to do is it's going to lower your profile that the wind sees, basically. So, you know, on a road bike, you're sitting up nice and tall. Here, we're getting down nice and low. That wind is seeing a fraction of what it otherwise would have seen sitting up nice and tall.
So it gives you a little more aerodynamics on the bike itself.
Absolutely.
Now, does that also, when you pull yourself forward like that, that also changes the geometry on the bike, right?
Yeah, you're going to look at a seat tube approaching 80 degrees on a triathlon bike. One of the things that's going to allow you to do is use less of your hamstrings to make it a little bit easier to run off the bike.
Okay, so then what Kurt was talking about, some people use a road bike on triathlons, but the benefit of a triathlon bike in a triathlon is because of the geometry and because you're sitting up forward, you're using different parts of your legs. So when you get off the bike in transition and go onto your run, they say that your legs are a little stronger?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Your legs are going to feel a little bit fresher coming off a triathlon bike as opposed to a road bike.
Now, are you faster on this bike or on that bike?
If we are looking at a non-technical triathlon course, not a lot of turns, a lot of fast straightaways, 100% be faster here.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
A technical course, a lot of turns, a lot of curves, a lot of acceleration, deceleration. You know, you may very well be a little bit faster on a road bike on something
Okay,
like
so
that.
real quick for the audience at home, what are some of the upgrades you could put on a bike like this to make yourself even faster?
Really, the sky is the limit on upgrades. I mean, you know, we're looking at all carbon base bar, aero bars, carbon shifters.
Carbon fiber is stronger and then lighter.
It's lighter and stiffer, absolutely.
Right, okay.
We could put a power meter down in the, you know, in the crank.
The wheels themselves?
The wheels are an upgrade as well. You know, like you saw on the bike Kurt had, while it does have some aerodynamic wheels, they'll probably be quite a bit deeper here on the triathlon side.
Okay, great.
Much more common to see, you know, rear discs, 1080s, 808s, versus on a road bike, maybe something not quite as deep like a 404.
Right, okay. So then for you folks at home, we've got the road bike, and the road bike has different geometry, different settings, but from a standpoint of being flexible with a very intricate course, having your braking and your steering and all your shifting at the front gives you a lot more flexibility and a lot more control over the bike. In a bike where you're actually be going straight out as fast as you can, having your braking here, but having your shifting up here gives you better ability to go on straight and real fast, but not necessarily give you the same type of flexibility and the same type of control in this bike. Both, I imagine you could upgrade the wheels. Both, I imagine you could upgrade the components, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so in essence, you could have the same exact bike with just different geometry,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, great. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your help.
Yeah.
Thank you at home.